Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment of the Quickview series. We're quick-viewing a tire. We quick-view a lot of tires. I don't know why I'm explaining it to you. You're probably here because of the thumbnail. In the thumbnail, the Gmade MT-1905. Pretty new. Very Gmade. Bitty Design does a similar thing. Only this is a tire version. I'll get to my point. Gmade said, let's make a tire that looks like tires, right? This is not specifically any other MT off-road AT type tire, but it looks like a lot of them. As I look up here to the tire rack, which is just above out of frame, this sort of snaky tread orientation, I feel like I've seen it before. What I have not seen before is, do you see this band here? It's not actually a cut through the lug. I mean, it will act, I mean, it could theoretically act like a little sipe in the lug, and every lug has got sipe in it, but it is actually a rib of rubber that runs all the way around both sides. And it leads to an explanation, which is typically when we do tire tests here in the Canyon, this is a Canyon Customs Soft, 2 wraps of reticulated polyethylene fridge foam over a Tim 10 inner. And then this is a Canyon Medium, which is a 3-inch medium hair bun. And this is what we run. These in the front and these in the rear. That's what the tire test protocol has been done on. Since we started doing the current scoring structure, that's pretty much how we've tested tires. But I feel like, much like the velociraptors figuring out how to open doors, I feel like the manufacturers are starting to figure out how to make these, the generally the banes of our existence, to make foams more better. Because this foam, let's take this is a memory foam that would come out of, say, a Pro line. We feel the density on that, and then we feel the density on this. This is 70% softer than this. But you'll notice, same size around, and I don't know if it's a money-saving tactic that this hole is bigger than what we commonly associate. Here's what I do know. I mounted one of these tires up. I mounted it up on every tire gets tested on some color of these Amazon, very cheap. These are Hybridix RC Method 105s. They all appear to be identical. They all have the same offset. They all weigh the same. They're all tested on the same vehicle. We try to eliminate as many variables as possible, which is why we're using Canyon custom inserts. But in this instance, this tire has a little bit of sidewall ribbing and like an extra little band inside the lip of the beadlock. The compound is appropriately soft, but because of the way they banded this edge, the tire feels pretty soft if you do that. The compound's pretty soft. But if you push here, there is a fairly significant amount of resistance. So what I'm hoping, this is bench speculation. We're speculating. I think Gmade has actually made some sort of an effort to stop the shoulders from collapsing. So much like the recently tested Batrazi Precipice, the Gmade MT-1905 has far less of a lyric ring to it than the Batrazi Precipice. We are going to test these on the included very soft, powder soft foams, because during the Precipice test, I kept thinking to myself and aloud, sometimes simultaneously, that they felt too firm. Not overfilled, but too firm. And I don't want to do that to these as well. Now, the Precipice did pretty well on Side Hill. It did pretty okay. I am very curious to see how the MT-1905 does, because the only prior experience we have with Gmade tires is the MT-1904, and we like those. This tire is not bubble juice mandatory, and the most frequently asked question. The question that would be at the top of the mythical, theoretical Crawler Canyon FAQ would be, what's that stuff you put on the tires before you put the wheel in? I call it bubble juice. It's bubble solution. You get it at the dollar store. Don't order it on Amazon. I looked up bubble solution on Amazon yesterday. $20 a gallon. That's water, dish soap, and glycerin. The issue is, you could make yourself bubble juice, but you're never going to beat... Mine came out of a quart bottle that I bought probably 8 years ago. And I got it for 99 cents at the Walmart. I know everything costs more now, so it might cost you $2.50 for that. But if you want to build your own bubble juice out of water, glycerin, and dish soap, there are plenty of recipes on the internet. But my stand on that is, you can go somewhere in whatever land you reside, whether it be mythical or real, you're going to be able to buy bubble juice somewhere. Doesn't have to be fancy. Mine came in a purple thing, and it said, like, bubbles on the side of it. And I've been using that same quart of bubble juice, and I still have. I filled, in order to get rid of the original container, I filled 7 of these little bottles. This is the bottle that I use for tires that have already been mounted once. So it's filled with disgusting sediment at the bottom. And then the rest of the bottles I just intergrab. So that foam is so soft. But after I mounted the first one with a Canyon Soft in it, it felt so, even with how soft that outer is, it felt super overpacked here. Like it didn't want to collapse enough. So this feels like, when I do this, it doesn't feel like it requires a lot of force. But, and again, bench speculation, I think because of that rib, when you push straight down on it, it doesn't really collapse. So I want to see if they know more than we think they do. We get out the guy, the hardest working man in the canyon, baseline, the Element Enduro SE, who doesn't even get... This is how he do. He work. And anything... Doesn't look like anything's wearing through yet. But he will more than likely be the first Canyon ship of Theseus by necessity rather than ship of Theseus by choice. You know, it would not be the first time that we've replaced every single part on a rig to the point where nothing of the original rig remains. Only we've never replaced anything on this vehicle just for the want of doing it. If he gets a part replaced, it's because that part has worn out or broken, or it's not doing something that it should be doing. It's on his third front axle housing, second pair of shocks. Both of the bumpers have broken and have been repaired. Third ring and pinion in the front. All the plastics on his gearbox have been replaced. The bumpers were just repaired. I don't know if I've actually pointed it out. Baseline never gets... He's gotten a couple spa days, but he never gets a really, like, let's break it on down. Like, he runs aluminum body mounts because we had ground through one of the ones in the front to where a pin was going to pop out. So both of his bumpers broke off because look how far out they stick on the plastic, so they would just cleave off. So drilled it, tapped it, just mounted it, and then we had to do the same in the front. You can see the little wisp of aluminum right there. Yeah. He wears stuff out because he works all day long. And he's going to work today as well, testing these, the Gmade MT-1905, which I think is a pretty good looking tire, and I did it again. Should be punished for my neglect. It's right here. I keep it right by me. They manufacture, I want to say, is claims 121 by 48. I'm trying to remember the documentation. When in reality it is 118 by... Okay, they got that one, 48. 118 by 48. 118 is about as common as you're going to see for Class 2. That is a 4.75 inch tire. And 48 width, anything between about 45 and 48. That's just where they are. That's class 2. So, there is nothing to do but take these out, run through 10 stages of tire test protocol, and see how we feel about it when we're done. I feel like these are going to hit in the magic number around here seems to be 94. Looking at the database, I can't even recall with great accuracy how many tires have scored in between 94.0 and 94.9. But I feel like it's a lot. And honestly, I feel like these are going to be right in there. I would love to be surprised. But we've tested a couple tires. And the surprises sadly happen less often than I would like. So let's see together if we turn out to be surprised. And so we begin. It should be a pretty good one. It is 50 degrees, about 70% relative humidity. I do not believe we hit dew point last night, so the ground shouldn't be all wet and soupy. I have no remarks about drive from front to back. It was uneventful. We drove from front to back. I didn't notice any over stickiness or anything like that. Oh yeah, okay, all right, okay. It's a little more than I thought we were gonna get, and I don't know why I would think that it was a little more than I would think that I would think. With that foam, what's softer than soft? That. See, it acts almost incompressible. Can I get that position? Oh, that's nice. Oh, the 1905 is... The 1905 is being subtly good. That was nice. Okay, all right. And now, like right here, typically, even on a 475, on these straight axles, we'll get a little bit of belly hang coming through here. And we're gonna get that belly hang unless we're under portals, and baseline never will be. So the question is, how do we manage that? So we auger in a little bit here. Then it's trying to get that bumper off of that, okay. Had to give it a little extra helping of beans, and the cutback, very nice. Ooh, you know what? And honestly, it's looking pretty good. Come around here. Got that bellied up, but ooh, we can power through it nicely. Yeah. See, that's the deal. Where is the trade? The trade might be invisible, or it may be visible. We may see it. We will know on the next sets of tests. I'm going to go a 96. I'm going to go a 9.6. 96. What's the difference? I'm going to go with a 9.6 for forward drive there. That felt pretty good. And to anyone out there asking, inquisiting, why not a 97? Well, right here, we come right to this little guy right here. We see that stutter right there? See how we can almost lift it, but we can't quite get over it? So we have to shuttle around this way and then do like that? That's the difference between a 96 and a 97. It's pretty straightforward. 9.6. And now I'm fired up because I saw a mid-94 coming. Ooh, show me. Oh, okay. There's only one thing. Well, there's a couple things. How is that sidewall ring going to affect things like self-righting and bump? Perhaps more loudly, how is that ring going to affect things like side hilling? We'll find out quite shortly. But in terms of forward drive, oh, it's right there. It's right there. So again, we're oscillating between a 96 and a 97. More than well enough to go gut shot straight up the middle at Daphne's other line right here. You pull it straight, okay, little fallback, but position back, Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. We err to the high side. We round up in Quickview situations. That, it seems crazy, but I'm gonna go 97 on that. Again, single stage foam is a trade. And I think the big side hill at Undertaker is gonna answer in relatively short order how big that trade was. Is that sidewall ring what I think it is? There's some lightness to the high side, but it's not. Oh, look. Oh! We almost stayed in that. How? Again, every new tire brings a new thing. I don't think we've ever gotten stuck right there before. It is a very short list of tires that just beat this side hill section on the first try because I don't know what the tire's gonna do. We can't all, they can't all be Panther Cougars. Look at that stand. So that's some collapse. Let's see if we can turn into it. Yeah, here's the deal. On a single stage foam, that is a ridiculously good side hill performance. I think they may have done it. This tire, and I could be filling in blanks that don't exist. Look at that deflection. I feel like the design was intentional. If this was incidental, then Gmade have a level of luck that I don't know. Grip and slip is the name of the game on here. Oh, I just get a little too aggressive, but that drive. Yeah, it's not perfection. Man, that's another 96. And yeah, I'm gonna go back and forth between 96, 9.6. Y'all know what I mean. I mean, we do score out of 100. It could be score out of 1,000. It doesn't matter. Tiny bit of moisture on the ground, and the wet spring has made for a lot of ground cover. You can see the little bit of wet tire tracks pulling up there. Do I think this might have pulled this straight out on dry? Yeah, I 100% do. I 100% do. And the drop in traction with them wetted up a little, yeah, just clean the debris off the lugs. Very nice. Now I want to see that positionability right there. Come across, very nice. Descending, very nice. Try to whip it here on the dirt, keep them a little bit dry, because I want to see right here. A little bit of hop, because not surprising. We've got as big of a weight transfer as we've seen, and those rear inserts are remarkably soft. But for a guy in the 5 to 5.5 pound, I talk often about the relationship between the tire and the insert, and they didn't just grab an insert off the shelf and shove it in the tire. If they did, then once again, that should go to Vegas. The maneuverability is there. The positionability is there. The forward drive is there. And they don't over collapse in the rear or in the front. There's a little bit of, you get a little bop on the rear from all the weight transfer, but descending nose down, what you look like in this situation, and that we can do this. Indeed. So I have to say, we're not that far in, but I am already most pleasantly surprised. That side lug is doing the thing. Man, is it doing the thing. That was so smooth through there. Now, but the push, nice. We want to stay up and over. We want to pull across the top there, right? Bumper's probably going to get hung and doesn't. Going to drop in around here. Absolutely. Absolutely. The unspokens turning into spokens are I am trying to do the same little tie the bow shape with every tire every time, because that is the test. Any amount of manipulation I have to do is going to impact that score one way or the other. Yeah, I love me side bite, and I don't know if it's the lug or the hoop inside the lug, but these have a delightful amount of side bite. We get a little bit of pushy in the front end, which makes sense. Single stage foam is not going to hold the shape as well, but that amount of angle that we're out to, that's about as good, and there's nothing on passenger front. That's about as good as a single stage foam filled tire is going to do. He's transferred weight. He's putting weight onto that high side tire now. Now we just need, and I'm so far to the inside, to the white marker side. Okay, gonna maneuver through and try not to swing the rear end over. We're gonna tripod through. No, he stayed down. That is not too shabby at all. We are fully in the realm of pleasant surprises right now. So I have a metered expectation here. We turn here, we cut back, we pull across the top, bish. We come across over to here, get that tire right there, cut back right there, bosh. We double check to make sure it wasn't a fluke. Kind of better at it on the second try. Oh, that should be negative points away from the driver. And now let's scramble. We'll do a traction move. Nice. The closer to the sign line, easy. The big here, no problem. Okay, so there's more. There's more energy return than I thought there would be, because that's the tire doing that return. And I think, again, that is those little side hoops. But when you have a tire with this amount of forward drive, you don't need to do that, right? A bump looks like that. So they are super hoppy and not remarkably predictable, and here's why I think that is. There's no chevron to the tire, and the tires are non-directional. If you're looking at the tire from the front, the tread pattern starts high on the right and drops low to the left. So you're going to have some attitude on bump. And you really don't have to give it a lot of sauce to get it out of shape. But we didn't even need, usually we have a pre-bump test that takes place over at the Beast. We didn't need to do it because this could do all the things. See how that shoulder acts. Yeah, all right, good. I'm not complaining about that at all. Yeah, this is a very maneuverable tire, and maneuverability, I will take maneuverability over pure forward drive. Only these chime in and are like, oh, hey, by the way, we have pretty darn good forward drive as well. Let's try to flop it a little sooner. There we go. Get off that crabgrass. Yeah. I want to try another forward one. Yeah. We're seeing pretty good stuff. All we've got to see is surface transition and wet. Surface transition, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how loaded we're going to succeed in getting these, but we're going to try to do it. Because here's how I look at it in short. If a tire can do the thing on the included insert, it's almost like doubling down on doing the thing. Because there are too many tires that the included foam is what I've heard many people use an excuse of, oh, that's just to hold the shape of the tire for shipping. No, that's the foam for the tire, please. Because there are plenty of companies like Pitbull and RCTech that sell tires without foams in them, right? No business is going to put... I'm surprised that they're not shrink wrapping them into those vacuum seal bags so that they take up 1/4 of the amount of space. They don't care that the tires maintain their shape. They're including a foam, and they buy those foams in what, to you and I, would classify as ultra bulk. Like, have you ever bought a shipping container full of foams before? Manufacturers, tire manufacturers do. I'm seeing a little, if we get down here in the grass and then transfer some of the morning dew up onto here, we can get a little something. There's just a real level of positionability that I am enjoying to no end. I'm gonna get out here and a little bit more wet. This is why baseline's so dirty. Yeah, these self-right well. And I think what might help a lot of people is that Gmades don't tend to be very expensive, particularly relative to things like Proline, RCTech, Pitbull, tires like that. And they look like a tire. They look like a tire, which is a thing for many. I don't care. I don't care what a tire looks like. More hop and pop than I thought. If you do change the insert in these, you're going to want to specify, like if you're getting a 3D printer guy or you're printing them yourselves, soft. You're going to want that outer layer to be as soft as you can get it, because these don't act like they have a foam that you can squish down to the size of a marble. That amount of hop. So all that, when I got one over here where we got the little bumper in, that's all tire. That's all tire. So the tire is doing, ordinarily, we anticipate the, do you see how I perfectly use that rock to roll myself? Totally on purpose. Ordinarily, the foam is tasked with maintaining that sidewall shape. They've designed a tire that can kind of hold its own sidewall shape. Do we just need bigger ribs on the sidewalls and the softest inserts that we can get? Is that the missing blend of herbs and spices? I don't know. I just know that these are doing so much better than I would have possibly anticipated. And they will grab hard enough that, I don't know if I can do it again. You can almost, there it is. That's driving. That is driving. Because it's not collapse. It's the inside tire of the turn losing traction, and when it throws it over to the outside tire, it grabs so much that you just traction roll. And, you know, it's not suspension collapse. Okay, it's not suspension collapse, it's not tire collapse, it's proper traction rolling. The other tire is grabbing too hard for the situation, and I'm 100% fine with that. So let's get these over onto some wet, and then we'll call it a thing. So while I can't speak to like proper full-on mud, dirt and wet, and they're reasonably loaded. They don't load too badly, but they do need to clean. They do need to clean themselves. Yeah, they do need to clean themselves before they can get back on rock. So we'll try a little spin it to clean it here. A little more. We can almost, we can almost power through it. Basically, the transition test where we go from dirt and then back to rock, this is an interpretation of the pure forward drive score, the slick rock measured score. The teardrop score is an element of the slick rock score, and sometimes they're the same. Sometimes we take a hit of a tenth or two. The score differential would be smaller than it's going to be if I could, just with a little bit of extra zazz, like that. Yeah, I have a number. Okay. So now we have to see. It's basically, what does that look like compared to the wet? Doesn't need to be too wet. We don't need a pool down at the bottom. We just want to water it down. It will take the tires a minute to clear their surface and acclimate to the wet, or it ordinarily does. Oh, it's... Oh! Stayed in it a little bit too long. Oh, get it, get it, get it! Very good. Very good. In general, with the exception of the stickiest of the oh! Hold on. Wait a minute. Okay, get a clean one all the way from the bottom. There it is. There it is. So the Gmade MT-1905, I almost said 04, 1905 joins somewhat rarefied air with an aggregate total average score of 96, 9.6 on the average there. We had a great number of 9.7s. There was 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 4 9.7s. The biggest hits that we took were on bump and surface transition. I think if you get these muddy, performance is going to suffer in that transition. You've got to get them cleaned out. They definitely do better wet than they do muddy. So I think they will handle dirt, and I think they will handle what we've seen here, not mud. But the ground's a little wet, things are sticking to the tire. They seem to manage that pretty well. They clear pretty quickly, and they do not load very badly, which I did not expect. But I cannot attest to full mud. And there's MT in the name, that's mud terrain. I don't know. 96.0 is up there. Although I'm not 100% sure if it's even top 10 on the board. I think it's top 10. I think it's up there with some of the big boys. And so far as and I'll put air quotes around this in behind the camera. Or no, we can do it in front of the camera. I can reach off-brand tires, because it's not a Pro line, it's not a J Concepts, it's not an Ot 6, it's not any of those. 96 is indeed rarefied air. In terms of tires tested, barring the Panther Cougar, tires from looking at Cross, Boom Racing, Charisma, this tire stands head, shoulders, knees, and toes above the rest. The MT-1905 is the best not major manufacturer tire that I believe we've tested. Not, of course, discounting the Panther Cougar or any other thing that might be discontinued or no longer available. These are remarkably good. They really, really are. And I am genuinely surprised, because at least 1.5 points better than I thought they would do. And we love a surprise, and we love a pleasant surprise even more. And today, the MT-1905 has left us pleasantly surprised. I have done zero due diligence. These were taken out of the Spider kit, and I tested them while the Spider kit build is underway, and these are real good. So when we get the Spider out on the rocks, it's got no excuses, man, because it's got a very good tire. I thought the 1904 was good, but the 1905 is significantly better. Particularly, look at, there's no bagging at the bottom, no noticeable, perceptible bagging at the bottom with a foam as soft as I've tested out of a tire. Like, generally foams come overly hard, and when I first felt these, I thought, oh, well, maybe they're overly soft. No. I have remounted, to make reference to other things, I have recently remounted the Petrozzi Precipice, including their foams, which are very similar to these foams, and they bag out like they look like pillows at the bottom. So we will later see how that happens. Gmade MT-1905, 96.0, real good, real good. As things work around here, they're going to be perpetually out of stock. I haven't seen the MT-1904s on A-Main more than once or twice. It's probably something we're going to have to order from Korea. But if they follow the typical Gmade pattern where they're like $24 a pair, they're a no-doubter. I would order a set. I'm probably going to I'm definitely going to try to remember to order a set. I don't know if I'll remember to do it, but there you go. Thanks for dropping by the canyon, everybody, on a wonderful, crisp morning when I should be toting that rod and lifting that bale and doing other heavy things. But instead, we test a tire, and the tire does not disappoint. I wasn't disappointed. I hope you weren't disappointed. I hope that in between now, which is right now, and then, which is at a future date yet to be determined, I hope that you one and all do your very best to have a good one, everybody. We'll see you next time here from the canyon. Baseline is going to remind me to take the thumbnail. Thank you, Baseline, and we will see you all in the next one.